Hey, good morning, world. Happy what? Thursday. Wow, man. Damn, the week is moving so fast, family. It's moving so fast. It's moving so fast. This week is going by like it's like light speed. So I'm back with more, more topics. Some that may be on your radar screen. It may be some things you haven't thought about before, but are definitely, if you live in Cincinnati, Ohio, if you are a black individual, if you're melanated, I think you'll probably be able to get into the conversation this morning. Welcome, 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 one and all. Good morning back to the last honest place in Cincinnati media. It's the Nathan Ivy Show, where nothing is funnier than the truth. Men are expected to be men. And of course, lames get their planes shot down like John McCain. The wise words of Jay Electronica. Somebody once said to me, Nate, you didn't make that up. Jay Electronica did. I said, yeah, fool, I know. Thank you for that. Good morning to you. Here is my number if you want to sound off at 513-873-7134. As you can see from today's cover, every officer involved shooting is not the same. And I had a really interesting conversation on my Facebook page with a lot of good people. Some people I disagreed with, some people I agreed with, but you know me, I stand my ground until there's more information that might change it. I stand my ground. And a lot of people, the world is reacting to the shooting of a 16-year-old girl, black girl in Columbus, including LeBron James. Have you heard what LeBron James tweeted about this situation? I think LeBron was wrong. Everybody know I F's with LeBron, but I think LeBron was wrong. It's just amazing how these officer-involved shootings, these cases, are really showing people's true colors, from Nancy Pelosi to Brett Favre to the ownership of the now Las Vegas Raiders. And I want to talk about all of it this morning with you. Plus, we got to keep our eyes on the ball, folks. There's a lot of things happening on the state level in Ohio that you need to know about. House Bill 22. Are you aware that there's a serious effort that would arm teachers? How do you feel about it? And again, if you want to sound off, 513-873-7134, plus a smattering of other topics like what the hell is up with the weather? Yesterday was crazy as hell. It was bipolar. 1 minute it's snowing, the next minute there's no snow and it's sunny. What is going on? Or maybe that's just the way Mother Nature intended it. They're talking about freezing temperatures this week, and next week we're in the high 80s. WTF? Somebody did something wrong. You've upset the gods, and now we got to deal with it. And on top of that, the cicadas are coming in about 10 days, so get ready for it. So as I said, family, a lot to talk about. Hey, one way you can help the show grow is to like it and share it on Facebook. Okay? If you come across this stream, and you don't have to like me, but you might like what we're trying to do here. We're trying to amplify Black voices in the greater Cincinnati area and beyond. That's the mission. Now, if that's something you feel like you can jive with, cool. Do us a solid and share the stream. In fact, share all of our streams from our Send Digital Media page. Okay? If you're not inclined to do so, you just want to take a free ride on my thoughts, I mean, that's a little cheap on your part. Come on now, this is free. The least you can do is hit your boy with a like and a share. It's so easy on your phone. It's so easy. You share on this other ish. It's so easy. It's so easy. But again, do you? Do you? Either way, I'm here for the next 2.5 hours with you this morning. It is always my pleasure. And I want to talk about all of it. Starting with this, every officer involved shooting is not the same. Say it with me. Every officer involved shooting is not the same. Say it with me. Every officer involved shooting is not the same. Listen, black people, I understand. I feel it too. But we got to put our thinking caps on. All right. We're not going to be able to feel our way out of this. We're going to have to think our way out of this. And I think we do a disservice to the overall movement when we conflate every situation and we get into our feelings. I feel it too. Quite honestly, I was amazed at some of the comments that people dropped yesterday, and I plan on reading some of them this morning to help, jump off the conversation. I'm amazed. It's almost as if people would have rathered for that girl in the pink to have been stabbed to death rather than the officer to take action. I guess because he's a white officer, I guess. I don't know. But are we more comfortable with violence among ourselves than violence being committed against us, I guess, by a police officer, which I get it. But come on, folks. Say it with me. Every officer involved shooting is not the same. Never has been, never will be. Two things can be true at the same time. It's 100% true that you got some of these race soldiers with badges on. We already know. It's 100% true that there are systemic racism and issues within law enforcement agencies, that we got some bad seeds. That's 100% true. But by all appearances, and until we get more evidence, all we can go with, family, is the evidence that we have. It appears, and you're looking at the image right now, that young lady was about to stab the other lady in the pink. And nothing in the world, I don't give a damn about no Breonna Taylor, nothing in the world is going to change that. Period. Stop feeling, start thinking. Every officer involved shooting is not the same. We're doing a disservice by conflating them all together and acting like they're all the same. They are not. They never have been. They never will be. Period. People was dodging like it was a game of dodgeball yesterday. I'm asking them a straight question. What if that was your daughter in pink? Well, I'm not going to answer that question and get caught up in the hypotheticals and it's real quick, simple. If your daughter was the girl in pink, how would you feel about what the officer did? Period. Some black folks don't want to answer that question because they know where it leads. You're right, Nate. I'd feel relieved. Let me go first. If Medium Buddha was the girl in the pink, and I don't care what she did, I'd be relieved that she's coming home, period. And so would many of you, whether you can be real with yourself this morning with me and admit it. It's the truth. It's tragic, but if my daughter's coming home, I'm happy. People talking about, oh, they're 28 years old and you don't know it don't matter what happened. The only thing that matters is what happens when the boys roll up, period. Nothing else matters. Well, they try to jump her. So what? It don't matter, family. The only thing that matters is what happened when the boys roll up. That's it. I'm going to lose some friends and some followers today, but so be it. I feel like I was going to lose you at some point anyway. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not an immovable object. I'm very movable. When I get information that moves me, present me with more information and evidence, I'm movable. Before then, nah, I ain't going to be able to do it. I ain't going to be able to do it. But I'll say it again with me, family. Every officer involved shooting is not the same. We do a disservice when we act like it is. That's just how I feel about it. All right, I want to set the table with you. I want to give you another 90 seconds or so just to like and share the show, and then we'll really get things started. All right, this is Cincinnati's, the last honest place in Cincinnati media, brought to you by the good folks at Sin Digital Media. We'll get started in about 90 seconds, folks. Please like and share today's show, and we'll get started. All right, good morning, family. There it is. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Let's get straight into it. Let me bring the cam up. There we go, everybody. How are you? Welcome back. Glad to see everybody. Thank you for being here. And let's get straight into it. So, did you hear what LeBron James tweeted? He tweeted something to the officer involved in the shooting right here. We spent a lot of time near the end of yesterday's show talking about it. And I think it's worthy of more time this morning. I didn't think that beforehand, but, after I posted something and I just saw some of the responses, I felt like, you know what? I got to keep it real out here for the people. And in doing so, folks, I got to tell you that in my opinion, every officer involved shooting is not the same. Like, that's a trap that we shouldn't fall into. We should be more intelligent about it. We should be discerning about it, and we should be able to ascertain what's right and what's wrong. I feel like we do a disservice to the folks that have truly, been brutalized when we just overreact and before we even have really got a chance to really break things down. I was talking with some folks yesterday who haven't even seen the video, haven't even seen the body cam video, and they're giving strong opinions about it. I'm like, well, how do you know what you're talking about if you haven't seen the video? And, yesterday on the show, we took a lot of time and, I won't say we broke it down frame by frame, but, we reviewed it over and analyzed it over and over again. We spent like an hour on it. And it became very clear to me that I saw a weapon. I'll show you again. And some of these black folks out here, y'all need to get checked. And I'm just the person to do it because some of these folks out here acting like you talking about something. He should shoot the gun, shoot it out of her hand, shoot her in the arm. They don't train like that. When you go get your CCW, your instructor's not going to teach you like they don't get to. You don't shoot nobody in no damn arm. You shoot to kill. Period. Y'all been watching too many damn movies. I mean, what's next? He should have used his Jedi mind tricks. Come on, y'all. That's the television. In the real world, that's not how the world works. He could have shoot her in the leg. Okay. Well, you get a weapon and you show us how it's done then. If it's so easy, you get a weapon and you show us how it's done in a situation like just to shoot somebody in the leg. Yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle. No, folks. I mean, it's tragic and sad. It's very tragic and sad, but I clearly see, I got to say this because my peoples, I can tell they haven't. There's people out there that's giving strong opinions and you haven't even seen the video. You don't know what you're talking about. I refuse to look at the video, but you want to talk about it. What's the basis of your opinion then? I mean, it's amazing. It's people out there that was responding. I got to call you out. It was people out there that was responding like you would have preferred for this girl to be stabbed to death than the officer to take action. People want to automatically jump into the victim bag. That's what I was reading last night. It was it was blowing my mind. He could have did this. He could have did that. Now, there is one thing that I agree with. People are like, well, why do you have this weapon out? Why do you have a taser out? I think that's a completely valid question. That's a question that needs to be answered. For sure, 100%. That's a fair question. We'll find out, I'm sure, at some point. But let me give you some words to advice. When the boys roll up, chill. That's just some advice. When the boys roll up, you see the rollers roll up, they get out the car, especially if they get out the car with weapons in their hands. My advice to you would be to chill. So if you got a knife in your hand, drop it. I'm just saying. Because if you don't, it could end very badly for you. And I don't care who you are or where you are. And I've heard people say, well, white people don't get like that. I keep telling you, black people get it worse. But white people get that business in this country. Y'all need to stop. Y'all need to expand your repertoire of the videos that you watching. Because I've seen videos of artistic white folks being killed by police. I've seen videos of all kind of folks getting slung to the ground, snatched out of their cars, shot. I saw a video of a dude crawling in a hotel corridor on his belly. He made the mistake of trying to pull his pants up. White cop killed him. White on white violence. I don't know what world y'all live in. I keep saying black folks get it worse, but everybody can get it from law enforcement. Just like the can man, Adrian Broner. What did Adrian tell you? Anybody can get it. African American, Mexicans, anybody can get it. Same thing with the police. Anybody can get it. So stop with this pity party like, oh, it's just us. No, we getting it worse, but it's everybody. And that's the truth. And that don't take away from nothing we talk about. It don't take away from nothing we got to do. That's just the truth. Get out of your feelings, people. Think for yourself. Don't just group think where everybody else is going to tell you, nah, I think for myself. Period. Every day, all day. And this is clear. I see a knife. Tell me what that is. I see a weapon. That's what I see. Period. Well, he could have tased her. Okay, so he's supposed to put the weapon up, pull out the taser, all within, I guess, a matter of seconds, milliseconds. You know how quickly, again, I had to make this point last night because I think people is tripping. That right there, that stance that the young lady's in, that's the universal stance for I'm about to stab your ass. In any language, in any continent, anywhere in the world, you can go to the dense jungles of the Amazonian rainforest and make a connection with a long lost tribe. And guess what? That's a universal symbol for I'm about to stab your ass for them too. What are these people looking at? Stop making excuses for bad behavior. I'm not for that. I'm going to keep it real on all topics. When it's time to go hard to police, who goes harder? When it's time to go hard on the racists, who goes harder? And when it's time to keep it real, I'm going to keep it real as well. That's what you get with me. I'm going to keep it real with you no matter what the prevailing winds are. That is the universal stance for I'm about to stab you in your liver. That's what that stance is. And I guess for some people, I would have preferred it for her just to stab up the chick and just stand there. At least she wouldn't have been killed by a white cop. That would have been better, huh? I don't know. All I can keep saying is this. If my daughter was the girl in pink, I'd be happy. I'd be very, 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 very heartbroken. But I'd be happy that my daughter is home, period. But again, those are just my thoughts about it. I was just amazed last night. I'm like, what in the hell? We are living in the last days of common sense. Stop playing games. Stop comparing apples to oranges. Comparing this situation to something that happened with George Floyd. It don't have nothing to do with none of that. The only thing that matters is the circumstances in the case in Columbus. Nothing else matters. That's it. That's it. That's all. But we got an early call. Let's see who it is. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Early call from an early riser. How you doing, Nathan?
Hey, what's up, early riser? I'm doing great. Doing great, brother Fame. Welcome.
Yes, Fame. First time, long time. You could have ended the show 10 minutes ago when you said we need more discernment. This case has nothing to do with any of those others. And then even after getting more information, I'm hearing that the person in pink might be 28 years old. Still doesn't change the fact that this is what the cop sees as he pulls up. Somebody about to catch one from a knife. And let's be honest, if he tasers her, this is the timing of this whole thing. Who's to say the taser reaches the target in time? Only thing that would have got there, stopped her at that point was a bullet. That knife is going forward at that on the still that you're showing. It's ready to go forward now. The whole timing of he gets there a nanosecond late, it's over for the woman in pink. She had God with her that day. And, it's tragic, but, like somebody said, her life matters too. Which brings back the issue of what the hell is this dad doing? Because if that woman's 28, how is your foster daughter getting involved in violent confrontations with adult women twice her age, almost? He holds so much responsibility in this that it's not even funny. And that's why I think he should be charged with murder. Like the Ohio law allows for. This is one in one instance where I'm pushing for it, where I would push for it because he was totally irresponsible. And like we've seen on the video, the situation was so tragic, or turning so bad that the cop walked by the woman being assaulted by a man to stop this potential stabbing. And as far as LeBron, he took that tweet down. He took it down
He did.
after tweeting it out because he had a knee-jerk reaction like we all did. Oh, damn, a cop shot another one of us. Then you see the video. The objective people are like, it sucks, but kind of see why she got shot. Kind of see why he had to shoot. Sometimes there's only one reasonable take on a topic. Derek Chauvin did not have to kneel on a man for 9 minutes on his throat. Of course, that's going to kill him. There's only one reasonable topic. There's only one reasonable take on that. This one, there's only one reasonable take. Somebody's about to get shanked. Like I said, the cop has to. You're asking why does he already have his gun out? Probably because he heard there was a knife on the scene. And two, if he doesn't have his gun out, he has to unholster it. That girl catches at least one or two from the knife. It was, like I said, the timing of it is just like, wow. If he's a second later, we don't know what happened. You see what I'm saying? So y'all need to back the hell off and we just going to have to take this, we're going to have to hold this L as a family as it is. But especially that family, that dad needs to be locked up. That's all I got to say. Do you have any questions, comments, or snide remarks?
I'll save it for you to get
Be
off
well.
when you can't respond.
Be well.
You too, brother. He's snide remarks. He's hilarious. He says the dad should be charged. I haven't thought that deeply into it. I mean, I'll take his opinion for what it is, but I thought that LeBron James was irresponsible. LeBron James was irresponsible. His platform is too big for him to be having knee-jerk reactions, and he don't know what he's talking about. So he tweeted a photograph of the officer involved in the shooting in Columbus with a caption that read, "You're next." As if, I guess, he's next in terms of being brought into a court of law like Derek Chauvin. It was irresponsible. I understand he felt, as a black man, he's got a daughter. He's got a couple of daughters, or at least one daughter, right? No, he's got 2 daughters, I think. So I'm sure he and his wife, they identify with Ma'Khia Bryant, as do a lot of us that have daughters and melanated skin. I get it. Quote, so damn tired of seeing black people killed by police. I'm with you. I'm with you 100%, LeBron. But you got to know the facts. You got to know the circumstances before you tweet something out. And you got, 30 million followers. It's irresponsible. That's why he took it down. He took it down because somebody got to him and said, bruh, you might want to take a look at this. He's like, oop, my bad. Oops, my bad. You're next. It was "you're next," an image of the officer alongside of an emoji of an hourglass. And in today's world, if you're somebody like LeBron James, you can't take something. Anytime you post something, it's immediately going to be screenshotted by, if not tens of thousands of people. Everything is permanent when you're on that level. You can't delete anything. And people accused him of inciting violence. I don't know if he's inciting violence, but he definitely is inflaming a lot of feelings for certain. So he took that tweet down, and then he tweeted, anger does any of us any good, and that includes myself. Gathering all the facts and educating does, though. My anger still is here for what happened to that little girl, my sympathy for her family, and may justice prevail. It sounds to me like somebody sat him down and gave him the facts of the case. Like, well, hold on, bro. Look at this. And he probably saw this image right here, right? And he was like, oh, damn, let me back up. Let me think about this. Oh, okay, let me take that down. And that's the truth. And that is the truth. I'll say it again. Not every officer involved shooting is not the same. They're not all the same. And we got to stop looking at it like they all the same. Like every single time the officer is dead wrong and you don't even know the circumstances. Please stop doing that. You're doing a disservice to the whole movement and everybody. It's just a disservice. Because what happens is you play right into the hands of the ops, of our opponents. You play right into their hands. They're going to say, see, I told you, you're overreacting. And then they'll use that for the next situation in which maybe you're righteous in being upset about it. I'm just saying. Again, there's some people out there that came across like they would have been happy if the officer allowed this woman to be stabbed. I don't care if the woman in pink is 158 years old. It makes no difference. When the boys roll up, you chill. If you don't chill and you're out here playing knife games, guess who you think that who you think the police gonna focus on? The person with the knife. The person with the knife. And Faye made a point. He's right about that. Like, what you can't see is that within this timeline to the right in the video, there's a grown man that's kicking some teenager or some woman in the head. The officer totally ignored that situation. It was right next to him and focused on what you can see right there. Why do you think he did that? Because he don't like black women? He did it because she's got a knife in her hand. That's why. Period. Now, again, there's still more question marks about this case, but I don't see that officer being charged. I don't see it. And again, people did not want to answer my question on my Facebook page, and you can always tell when you're right. You can always tell when you're close to the target, when you ask a person a question and it's a fair question and they want to dodge it. I'm not going to answer that question. What the hell? How are we going to have a conversation if you're going to not ask the question? You don't want to answer the question because you know where the question leads. It leads right to my point, which is that if that was your daughter in pink, you'd be happy as hell at what the officer did. Not that it cost somebody's life, but you'd be happy that your family member is coming home. And it's a different way of looking at it. A lot of people want to jump right to the victim bag, like identifying with the person that got shot. I'm identifying with the girl that's alive because I got a daughter. I know that's a different way of approaching it. I know that a lot of people in the media, especially black media, is going to hit the same old panic button, but we're superlative here. We ain't like everybody else here. We're different. We're a little something different over here. Those are just my thoughts about it. Let's go straight to the Chop Shop. Brandy writes, good morning. Good morning to you, Brandy. How are you? Sharp writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you.
Get to the chopper!
Oh, my God. So, I'm getting teeth work done. Like part of my recovery and my transformation health-wise is oral health. Sometimes people they be working on their abs and working on all this other kind of stuff, and your mouth game is nasty. My mouth is a part of what I do every day, but oral health means everything to me. I got to be able to do what I do. So I committed to it about a year ago, and as part of that process, all new everything being updated, no cavities, and I'm glad I did it. I feel much better. Sometimes people are sick, and you don't know why you're sick, and it's your mouth game. Check out your oral health. Go see your dentist. Get yourself a black dentist. But anyway, so I'm scheduled to do some cosmetic stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be on camera. When I smile, I want to blind you with it, right? And as a part of that, I had to get a crown. I never had a crown in my life until early this year, right? And it popped off yesterday when I was eating. And it's just the weirdest feeling in the world. It's temporary, so the things can happen. It's the weirdest feeling in the world. I'm just eating, all of a sudden, crunch. I bit into it, broke a piece off. It was a whole thing yesterday. It was a whole thing. Had to stop what I was doing. I was lucky enough because my dentist is super hella busy, man. I'd be like 2, 3, 4 months out to get inside there. They got me in quick, man. Jumped in the whip, took care of that, lickety split. I was so happy, man. I feel so much better. It's the weirdest feeling in the world. Anybody know what that feels like? It's weird. It's not necessarily painful. It's just really, really weird. I could have did what I do, but now it's back in there. I can't really show you it because it's kind of to the side, and I ain't trying to do all that on the air. But let's just say that yesterday was a whole thing. It was a whole thing yesterday. But I'm feeling much better now. So thank you for being here. Daryl Rice, good morning, Choppers. Good morning to you, Daryl.
Get to the chopper!
Brenda Rice, happy Thursday. Ashley Rice, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Happy Friday Eve. Noble Drew Ali Rice, rise and shine, young stars. The Politically Petty Show writes, morning, Nate and the Choppers. Hashtag call it like I see it with my glasses on, but most of y'all don't get the picture unless the flash is on. Okay. Poetic. All right. Dale Rice, if that was my daughter in pink, I would have wanted the officer to have killed that he said that big bitch. I'm not going to say that. To keep her ass from killing my daughter. It's funny to me that no one is saying anything about that grown-ass man kicking that girl when she was on the ground. Should have put a bullet in his punk ass. You know, I talked about it yesterday. I spent like 20 minutes on it. Like, as a man, I typically focus on how other men, and in particular black men, conduct themselves, right? I see this black man, I don't want to, I'm trying to identify. I'm trying to figure out, like, what would make me do what he's doing? And I can't think of anything. Like, I'm a family man, right? So I'm going to protect mine against any and all. If it's time to get blizzy, as I told you, I don't want to. But if that's what I'm forced to do, then that's what we got to do. I just can't see myself wilding out like that on a female. I've never met a female that was a physical threat to me. And if you're not a threat to me, then you don't get all of that. I save that for people that I perceive to be threats. If you ain't a threat, you know, you can run your mouth and keep it moving. To me, maybe I'm just cut from a different cloth. I just can't see myself getting so enraged that, you know, I'm physically assaulting or getting into. Maybe he might have been defending himself, but in the video, it seemed like he pretty much had the upper hand. And then meanwhile, my daughter or somebody that I'm responsible for has a knife in her hand, and I'm just oblivious to it. I have no idea what's going on behind me. That's just irresponsible. Again, for me, my job in a situation like that is protect my fam. So the only thing I'm focused on in a situation like that is medium Buddha. Where is she? Where is she? Get behind me. Daddy got you. Anybody getting stabbed is going to be me. It ain't going to be her any day, all day, right? That's how most family men are. I know you identify, so I just couldn't understand what this brother was doing. But again, it's just a video, right? So we're only getting like a snapshot. We don't really have anywhere near like a clear picture, so I get it. Ray Rice here. See. Pamela writes, Daryl, I'm with you on the grown-ass man. If he was a responsible adult, could have de-escalated the situation. Yeah, you outside. Let's say, presumably, you're outside my home. You outside my home? I ain't wilding out like that outside of my home. We ain't doing that. You on my property. We gonna set the rules here. We ain't doing all that. Girl, come on in the house. We ain't even coming outside. We're gonna be inside, call the boys on you. Let the boys deal with you from outside. We'll look through the window. Let them deal with all of that. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. But I don't know the circumstances, so it's hard for me to get deep into it. Sharp writes, I'm seeing a lack of structure in the home. Parents need to parent. Stop being your child's friend. I tell my daughter all the time, I'm not your best friend, I'm your dad. Because teenagers try to friend you. They try to put you in a friend. I'm not your friend. I love you, but I'm your dad. Every day, all the time. I could be 179 years old, and then she could be 130 something or whatever. She'll be 150 or 160, and it's just saying, I'm still going to be your dad. That's just what it is. It's a different kind of relationship. That's it. That's all. And I thought that LeBron James was irresponsible, and that's why he took his tweet down. Talking about you're next. You don't even know what happened, LBJ. Man, work on that motherfucking ankle and come back and get a championship. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say shut up and dribble because I don't believe that. I mean, I think these modern day athletes have a role to play in the overall movement and movements out here on many different fronts. But know what you're talking about before you go on social media. That's not too much to ask. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivy. This is your West Side Connection, your only Black Not Democrat. You got me pumped up this morning, Mr. Ivy. You are on point. How are you doing, sir?
I'm a little nervous, but I'm doing well now. We agree, huh?
Mr. Ivy, Before I get started, I would like to give a shout out. Well, not a shout out. I would like to give my condolences to the family of Naira Givens, the 13-year-old girl who was murdered last week by another 13-year-old girl. Today or yesterday, Mr. Ivy, unfortunately, two families are going to now go through hell because the 13-year-old girl who killed Naira Givens is now being charged with murder. Now, I don't know. Well, I do know a little bit about your state, but I hope they don't charge that young girl as an adult. But Ohio is a red state in the Midwest, so I'm not sure. Maybe you can offer some insight. But Mr. Ivy, the professional Negro, LeBron King James, is at it again. And the reason he took down that tweet is the same reason Snoop Dogg, another professional Negro, who now on the beach in house shoes selling Mexican beer. But that's a whole nother issue for the professional Negroes in America. But see, Mr. Ivy, LeBron James, he's going to get a pass. I mean, all through social media, I would say it's about 50-50. A lot of people are calling him out, but not the right people, Mr. Ivy. And you know who I'm talking about when I say the right people aren't calling him out. And hopefully, Mr. Ivy, with this case of the murder of Naira Givens, also obviously in the same state as this case that you're talking about, hopefully this case will get some coverage. Hopefully the professional Negro LeBron James will put up some tweets and get some money going for the family of Naira Givens. And hopefully Ben Crump and Al Sharpton and the other race hustlers can get down there and help out the Naira Givens family, as well as the other young girl who's being charged with murder right now. Her and her family also need support because these are young girls. And shout out to the all middle, Fame Rothstein. He brought up another good point about the family structure in the Black community and the importance of mental health awareness. LeBron James, professional Negro, and LeBron has one daughter and two sons. And again, Mr. Ivy, I think he's catching enough heat from social media. But again, like I said, I don't think he's catching it from the right people. And before I go, I just want to say, Democrats have all the good white folks. Drop Squad 52, dropping science to anyone. I said anyone, especially the politically petty ones. Where the overseer out? I hear the gate opening. Peace.
I said, I hear the gate opening. He is hilarious, man. Oh, I'm telling you, man, I don't care what nobody said, man. I F's would drop. He is funny as hell, man. And he committed. He is committed, man. You got to check him out on Twitter. Is Black Not Democrat. You support me, I support him. Absolutely. I'm a very simple creature. Very simple creature. Very. I think I hear the gate opening, huh? Oh, man. I like the back and forth between them, quite honestly. I'm here for all of it. I want to encourage it. I want to encourage it. I hear the gate opening. He is a fool, man. Anthony writes, morning, Chop Shops. Good morning to you.
Get to the chopper!
Hey, Jerome's in the house. Good to see you, Jerome. He writes, good morning, Nathan the Choppers. Good to see you. Andrea writes, morning, Nathan and friends. Good morning to you. Good to see you. Good morning, Nathan the Choppers. That's Daryl.
Get to the chopper!
Casey writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Sending positive, powerful vibrations to you all. Is that too loud? Let me know. Dale writes, hey, Nate, after listening to Roland last night, I changed my view on the police shooting in Columbus. Okay. What did he say? Roland does great work. Vernon writes, morning, Nathan. Sean writes, critical thinking is an important tool for life. The morning, Nate and the Choppers, hashtag flows ready to eat for everybody. Yeah, I didn't see Roland. I haven't been watching. He does great work, man. I support Roland from afar. Love what he's doing and what he's trying to do. I hope he's super successful. Sean writes, 100, hashtag alt middle. Damn, it's official, homie. Damn, they got you, huh? Damn, they got them a recruit. Fame writes, some of us ain't objective. Let a gal kill a human. Anthony writes, he took his tweet down. I believe he tweeted out of emotion. Yeah, he did. But on that, on any level, but on his level, where he's getting like 100, 150, 200,000, 250,000 responses per tweet, he got to be more responsible before he puts that shit out there. He basically put a target on that person's back. And then my thing was, he didn't do that with them people that killed Tamir Rice. See, my problem, I love me some LeBron James. I love to watch the brother play. From an athletic standpoint, I support anybody. I'm a homer. You know, he was born under the same Ohio skies. That's LeBron, I think Ramon James, right? So I support him. Plus, I like an underdog. And for a lot of years, people used to hate on him. He was never going to win a championship. He ain't as good as this. He ain't as good as that. So I love to see him win. Okay, I love what he's doing as an entrepreneur. I love what he's doing with his school. You can't say nothing. You can't disrespect LeBron James and his contributions to the community. You cannot. However, when he was a Cleveland Cavalier, he ain't opened his mouth about what happened to Tamir Rice. And I think it was because it was too close. Like, he was in Cleveland. Those was Cleveland police officers. It's far easier for him to talk about it now that he's in LA and he's talking about a city in which he's not actually playing ball in. That's what I see. But I'm glad that he cares. Because these brothers care, man. They're black too. They might be millionaires and, you know, big time stars and all that kind of stuff, but they got kids and family members. So of course these people care. Absolutely. I wouldn't think anything other than that. But you got to be more responsible, LBJ. Think before you tweet. David writes, Midwest weather. That's right. I guess that's what it is. You know, we spent some time, what was it, yesterday, day before, talking about those new Bengal uniforms. My theory is that the Bengals will never win until two things happen in this order. Number one, God's children in Hamilton County have to stop being oppressed. This is the hypocrisy of Hamilton Countyans for years and years and years. Y'all thinking that God was going, or the gridiron gods is going to bless you with a championship while you were targeting his children, like Tracy Hunter and others. It don't work that way. You want the gridiron gods to bless you with a championship while at the same time you're oppressing God's children in Hamilton County. That ain't going to happen. So that's number one. And then number two, you got to get rid of those ugly ass uniforms. I've been saying it for years. I'm ahead of my time on that. I've been saying it for years. Change the unis. Denver Broncos, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, New England Patriots, Baltimore Ravens. They change the uniforms. What happens? Championships. Something to it. But people are criticizing the latest change of the Bengals, saying it doesn't go far enough. And I get it. They need to change those unis. I do. Can you hold on one second? Sorry about that. Speaking with the wifey. Let me see. Politically Petty Show writes, LeBron did take the tweet down. He did. Sean writes, I do not need a politician or celebrity thinking for me. God has given me a mind to think for myself. I'm with you on that. Okay, sounds good to me. One thing brought out last night was, how did stand your ground apply in this situation? I think that's fair. On some levels. I mean, I think all the conversations are fair, but that's just a really tough situation. I think, as Fame said, the timing just just linked up in a way that unfortunately, tragically ended with a young girl losing her life. Very, very tragic. I know her parents and the people that love her are just heartbroken. And from afar, I feel the same way. I don't want to see nobody go down, period. Especially nobody that look like me. I don't want to see nothing negative happen to anybody. Right? I hate seeing that. Let me say it again. This is not an endorsement. This is a campaign ad. This is a media platform, and we do allow access for folks to get access to our audience. But I want to make sure people understand this is not a personal endorsement from me. Check this out, and we'll catch up on the other side.
Hello, I'm Mr. Same Old Same Old. I'm running for mayor.
Hold up. Haven't you run for a bunch of offices always promising change but doing nothing?
Yeah, but
But nothing. I'm not voting for the same old politicians to clean up City Hall and create change. We need to vote Prophet for mayor. He will be bold, courageous, fair, and stop corruption at City Hall. I'm voting for Prophet. Prophet for people.
I'm Raphael Prophet, and I'm asking for your vote, as I will do what is right, what is just, and what is fair. Paid for by Prophet for Mayor, Dwight Crawford, Treasurer.
hello, I'm Mr. Same Old Same Old. I'm running for mayor.
Hold up. Haven't you run for a bunch of offices always promising change but doing nothing?
Yeah, but
nothing. I'm not voting for the same old politicians to clean up City Hall and create change. We need to vote Prophet for mayor. He will be bold, courageous, fair, and stop corruption at City Hall. I'm voting for Prophet. Prophet for people.
I'm Raphael Prophet, and I'm asking for your vote, as I will do what is right, what is just, and what is fair. Paid for by Prophet for Mayor, Dwight Crawford, Treasurer.
Again, I say these are not endorsements. These are campaign ads. This is a media platform, and we do sell, ad space. You may have a small business, or maybe you got an upcoming event. Hit me with a DM. I'll be in contact today. This is the number one digitally based talk show in Cincinnati by far. And we reach a whole lot of folks. So perhaps we can help you connect with whoever you're trying to connect with. 513-873-7134. This is just a rumor. I'm gonna throw this out here. I don't know if it's true or not. Let me preface this. I don't know if this is true or not. This is just information that came to me within the last 24 hours. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't have any information. This is purely rumor at this point. Purely rumor. It was given to me as a rumor. I'm giving it to you as a rumor. Okay. I don't have any insight. I haven't talked to anybody. I'm just telling you what was given to me. And because of so much that we've seen so far, I want to put this out here, and I want to put it out here first. But I got some information, and it ain't good. It ain't good, family. So listen up. And there's some information came to me that perhaps another black politician who's currently an elected official may be a part of some more legal-ish, something that may have to do with PPP loans. Now I'm gonna say this to my people again. We see people getting caught up with these PPP loan scams. Everybody's is innocent until proven guilty. We've got two prominent folks that have been caught up with this kind of stuff. One is Kelly Prather, the other is Lakita Cole. They are both, in my opinion, innocent until proven guilty, but the charges are what the charges are. I'm not going to tell you who it was or who it is. It's because it's just a rumor, but I want to throw this out here. And then in case it actually happens, you'll be able to know that I told you a little bit about it first. Okay. But I'm just saying, like, that PPP loan stuff, don't play games with it, family. So that's a real serious thing, because it appears that the feds ain't playing no games. Okay. If you're going to go through that process, make sure you answer everything to the utmost truthfully. You know what I mean? I'm all about the legal stuff. If it's anything illegal, don't even talk to me about it. I don't even want to hear it. Don't bring it to me. I'm gonna hang up on you. We're gonna stop being friends. I don't want to have nothing to do with it. Simple as that. All right. So I'm just saying, just word to the wise. I would be not happy if this actually happens. I hate to see people go down for these kind of things, but the rumor, this was given to me. I don't know if anybody else is hearing something like that. Maybe you can confirm with no names. I'm not going to say any names whatsoever. I'm just going to say that there is, it came to me as if there was a rumor. I've only heard it from one source to this point, so we'll wait and see if I hear from some different sources. But if it happens, it will be huge. It'll be huge, put it that way. All right. And I heard some rumors about Wendell. I heard some rumors about some other folks. And to this point, a lot of these rumors have come true. So we'll have to wait and see. I hope it's not, but I'm just saying. Sean writes, Nate, we are dealing with cognitive dissonance. Yeah, I think it's just a lot of good people that's in their feelings, because people feel so badly and they feel so strongly about these police-involved shootings when it comes to black people. And we've seen so much evil and so much pain that it's hard for some people to separate it. But that's where people like me come in, because it's not hard for me to separate it. Whatever it is whatever it is. The facts are the facts. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yes, I'm a very emotional person. You know that. But I can separate my emotions from the evidence and be objective about things. At least I like to believe I can. And that's what I got last night. There's a lot of good people, well-intentioned people. They in their feelings about it, and they sick and tired. Like LeBron said, they're sick and tired of seeing black people get killed by police officers. So I understand where it comes from, but we got to put our thinking caps on. We got to think our way through this, not just feel our way through this. We got to be objective. We got to be able to discern between situations. Not every officer involved shooting is the same. Then many of them have different circumstances, different contexts, different things that happen, and we got to be able to discern the difference between what's right and what's wrong. As I know many of us can, because the way they talk about black people is that we automatically react whenever an officer involves shooting, an officer is involved with a shooting, and that we don't care about the evidence, we don't care about the facts, we just gonna overreact to it. And that's true on some levels, right? To some people. I think generally speaking, most people can be objective about it, but we don't want to play into their hands. Why? Because there's going to be a situation in the future in which it was wrong. And we don't want to lose credibility. We don't want to lose credibility. We don't want to lose credibility. Credibility means everything. Hey, Jocelyn, how you doing? She writes, I wonder why my daughter is showing up on people's doorsteps trying to jump folks. Nat writes, good Thursday, Facebook choppers. Good Thursday to you.
Get to the chopper!
Hey, Melinda. Melinda writes, four shots seems reckless and excessive. And it's lucky the young woman in pink and other bystanders wasn't shot by accident. I've heard that. Is it luck or is it training? Is it luck or is it training? Without any more evidence, I would have to say that it was training. Maybe he just was a good shot. Maybe he hit his target. 4 shots seems reckless and excessive. Again, I'm not an officer. I don't know how they were trained. I think they're trained to fire until the threat stops. And maybe that's until you go down and you stop moving. I think that what we have to separate is Hollywood from real life, right? I think that we watch so many movies that we think we understand how police work is supposed to go because we see these television and these Netflix police officers. I don't really think it's like that at all. In the heat of the moment, I don't think it's really like that. And Melinda, would it be any different if he fired 3 shots? She still might be dead. Would it be any different if he didn't fire 16 shots? He didn't empty the clip on her. So again, I don't know how to read that. 4 shots as opposed to 3 shots, as opposed to 2 shots, as opposed to 1 shot. I don't really know how to read that. I have to confess, I'm just outside of my wheelhouse. Lucky at that range, that's close range right there. I wouldn't say that's lucky. Okay, I would say that's a good shot. Right? That's what I would say. Again, I don't know what the ballistic pattern is. I don't know if all the bullets actually hit her. I don't know yet. I'm sure this information will come out. We might find out that only 1 bullet hit her. I don't know. Maybe you got that information. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know. Let me see. Jacqueline writes, shaking my head. Wow. Hey, Naisha. Naisha writes, I don't think it had anything to do with race under these circumstances. Yeah, I was talking with somebody last night whose opinion I take very, very seriously. And she was like, would it be any different if it was all white people? And that's a tough one. It really is, because race does matter. We do have implicit bias, all of us, black and white. It does inform her actions. It most certainly does. But again, family, what I see right here, I can't unsee. I see a knife. That is the universal symbol for I'm about to stab your ass. Anywhere in our reality, I don't care where you go. You go to China, that's the universal body language for I'm about to stab your ass. Right? You go to North Korea, that's the universal symbol for I'm about to stab your ass. You go to Moscow, that's the universal symbol, body language wise. That's universal body language for I'm about to stab you. Now, was she really about to stab her, or was she gonna just threaten her? We'll never know. We'll never know, unfortunately. But it's just so sensitive. I feel it too. I ain't trying to come across like I'm unfeeling, because I'm not. I care very deeply. But I have to say again, if that's my daughter in pink, I'm happy. I'm happy she's coming home. I don't care if she's 55 and the girl is 14. It makes no difference. I'm happy she's coming home. And that's the way I keep looking at it. But enough of me, more of you. Let's go straight back to the phones and say good morning and welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, Nathan. It's Tony.
Hey, what's up, Tony? Good morning, brother.
Hey, good morning. Hey, just wanted to chime in on yesterday's show and the day I just got in on it. But when I'll tell you, when I heard the verdict being passed down, me and my wife, we were in the bedroom watching TV, and she was sitting on the bed, and I was at the threshold of the door, right? And when they read the guilty charges, she got a little emotional. But as for me, I was like Ice-T at the end of New Jack City. When Nino got popped and fell off the staircase,
Right.
it was like, oh, yeah, it was like, okay, justice served, moving on, just like that. But what tripped me out more than anything was after they read that, they showed the footage of the people on the street. And, I saw the people with the bullhorns and talking. But then I saw some woman doing some, I don't know if she was doing a two-step or interpretive dance or shimmying or something like that. And I'm like, what the fuck is it? You my language, man. I know, Buddha and June around, but I was just like, man, what is with our people, man? Why we always got to do that buck dance shit? It was like the end of the Wiz or something like that. This ain't no brand new day. What I'm saying? Oh, man, I expect to see like Michael Jackson looking like the Scarecrow with some crows dancing. Like, this some bullshit. Man, it pissed me off, man. Cause it's like, man, why? It don't change nothing. While that was going on, there was another, the shooting was going on with the girl. So it's like, man, why are people, this don't change anything. Everybody acting like it's like, oh, y'all in trouble now. No, man, the only way that, in my opinion, the only reason why the verdict happened because you had cops telling on each other. But that ain't gonna happen again. That blue wall too thick. They always cover for each other. It was just one of the kind of things where they just had no choice but to say, yeah, I'm a cop and what he did was wrong. But that was my take on as far as on the verdict. Now, as far as the shooting with the girl in Columbus, man, I tell you like this. Last year, I was watching TV, and who do I see on TV downtown? At City Hall, I see my kid, protesting with Sister Iris, and some heckler got in her face. And at first I was like, any other parent at the beginning of COVID, like neither one of them had a mask on. So I'm like, man, what are they crazy? They in each other's face. But I'll tell you this, if that dude who was in her face would have whipped out a knife and was about to stab her and one of Cincinnati's finest lit him up, he my new best friend. He official member of the family. And that's the reality of what happened. He took a black life, but he saved a black life. He saved that girl in the pink. Cause that was a knife. And I seen different images, and I seen the image that, when you slowed it down yesterday on your show. She was in full shank mode. She was about to chop her up when he had to take her down. And it's unfortunate that it happened. It's a loss of a life, but he saved that. He did what we want police to do. We want police to save black life. He had to. Unfortunately, the life that he had to take was a black person, but I put the blame solely on the father. Because speaking as a father, if something like that would have went down with mine, I'm trying to get my kid out of the situation. Like I'm rushing, like I ain't rushing to try to get another kick in and some girl she fighting. I'm going to try to move my kid from the situation because if she getting jumped in, I need to get her away from the situation. I ain't trying to join in. I'm grown. So, I know that's an unpopular opinion. I know people. And another thing, man, is I got to listen to people talk about, the cop, he should have tried to shoot her leg. Man, that ain't how it works. He should have tried to shoot. I even heard someone say he should have tried to shoot the knife out of her hand. And I was like, come on, man. Take the Wild West. Shoot the knife out of her hand. Really? So, I mean, it was, yeah, it's like, no, man. I mean, that's not how it goes. It's like when you got to take somebody down, you got to take them down. And he had to take her down, or else it would have been a girl in pink laying on the ground, bleeding to death. So it's unfortunate, man, and it's sad, but I ain't gonna call that cop a hero, but he did his job. So I'm gonna get back to work. I'll check you out later, man. Peace.
Yep, take it easy. Appreciate it. His daughter is super dope. Super dope. Appreciate the call. Yeah, I mean, hero, I don't know how that cop would look at himself. If that was me, I wouldn't want to be called a hero. Nah, I wouldn't want to be called a hero because I took somebody's life to save somebody's life. Not in that scenario. Not in that scenario. Like it was like I could see a different scenario. Let's say you got like an active situation. Like they had a situation in Fifth Third a couple years back where you had some sicko that was just killing people. And the cops took him down. Heroic. This is different than that. This is more of like something that was just happening in the neighborhood and then just took an unfortunate turn. Took a very unfortunate turn. But we got to keep our credibility. We have to keep our credibility, family. We can't be losing our credibility because we let our emotions get the better of us. Now, I fully admit that I don't have as much information as we're going to have in, let's say, a month or two, because they're going to do an investigation and then they'll do interviews and the information will come out and we'll find out more. We'll find out more about the details. What was the officer's mindset and things like that. But the way I look at it is, I keep saying, if my daughter's a girl in pink, I'm happy she's coming home. I'm happy she's coming home. And it's just interesting how people can identify with the victim and not the woman that's still alive. But I think it's just because of, what's been happening in this country, George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Timothy Thomas, and the names go on and on and on. I mean, I could spend the next 15, 20 minutes just reading names of people that were killed while either in police custody or dealing with police who were unarmed and should still be here with us. And officers that walked away because of racism in the American criminal justice system that we set up. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Here is my number if you want to sound off this morning, 513-873-7134. That is my number. Hold on. There it is. Call in at 513-873-7134. Back to your chat. Lynn writes, how long did it take the cop to make the decision to shoot? Seemed like it was pretty quick. Hey, Tiffany, how's she doing? It's Tiffany. Tiffany Daniels, everybody. Community Connector Podcast. She'll be streaming live on Monday. Dope show playing for you. Make sure you check it out. There's an ad on Facebook that's circling right now. Meaning he didn't know whom was the potential victim. Then you arrive and see someone with a knife pinning another up to a car. Right. See, Donyetta's in the house. Good to see you as always, sis. Nat writes, those were grown women trying to jump a 16-year-old. She was standing her ground and got shot in 10 seconds. I don't trust none of these pigs, flat out. Again, we all have our different opinions. I think the context and the scenario matters. Like I said, when the boys roll up, everybody knows you chill. Again, Nat and anybody else, what I would tell you is if you get into an altercation and the boys roll up, then you need to chill. You need to chill if possible. And if you pin somebody up against a car and then with one arm and then with your right arm, it appears that you're about to stab them, then you open yourself up to the officer's discernment of the scenario. Okay, I'm just saying that's human. That's just the basics of it. It's just the basics of it. And people are saying stand your ground. She had a right to stand your ground. That's very complicated. Because in most of the stand your ground cases I've heard of, officers are not around at all. These are citizens that find themselves in a stand your ground situation, and an officer isn't around. When an officer's around and the guns come out and the knives come out, the officer is going to start to interpret. That's the word I was looking for. The officer is going to start to interpret the scenario and try to assess who the problems are. You know what I'm saying? I keep hearing people say stand your ground. I'm like, I don't remember a lot of stand your ground cases where an officer is standing right there and the officer does nothing because he's like, well, stand your ground. I just don't remember those kind of cases. I don't know if that really happens that way. Lemmy writes, foster dad will be under investigation. What kind of foster dad is fighting people outside his house? What kind of foster dad is doing that? Again, what kind of man, period, is kicking women in the head? Like, as a man, would I put my hands on a woman? Yes, I would. But believe me, if I do something like that, she deserves it because she was a threat that I couldn't get away from. But am I going out of my way to kick a woman when she's down, no matter what she said or did to me? No. What's the point in it? I don't see it. So again, but we'll find out. Tiff writes, and good morning to you, Tiff. The lady on the ground was going to be the first victim if she would not have fallen. She might have been. Hey, Crystal, how are you? As always, good to see you, Crystal. Thank you for all your posts. I appreciate you in the friends page. As always, good morning to you, sis. Janice writes, good morning to you. B writes, black folks allowing the media convince y'all that this is an open and shut case because this was nothing more than a violent black teenage girl. Notice, I wouldn't necessarily say that she was a violent black teenage girl, B. That's not my opinion about it. I don't know if she was violent in terms of that was something that she did on a regular basis. All I know is what I saw in the video. Notice they haven't released the ages of the females involved in the altercation. B, I don't think that really matters. They were grown women trying to, I lost it. There's so many messages coming in, B, that I can't find the message. It's not even available anymore. I wanted to read all of it. Lemmy writes, good morning. Sister V writes, good morning, beautiful people. Good to see you. Tammy writes, everyone has an opinion. Absolutely. TNT writes, good morning. Anthony writes, we might not like the outcome of this, but we can't dismiss that the people involved in this fight are to blame, not the cop in this situation. Sister Iris writes, good morning, great people. Good to see you. Willie writes, we just had a 13-year-old stab someone in Witten Terrace. We did. Stabbing. What in the hell? At 13? Now, I don't know the circumstances. I'm sure there's people in the audience that do. Was it self-defense? I mean, you got to do what you got to do at any age. If somebody's trying to take you out the game, it's you or them. You already know. You know, if I can't get away from you, because you know me, I'm going to try to get away. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to try to get away. If I got to run away, I'm going to try to run away. I'm trying to get away from any business. I don't want parts of no smoke with nobody. I don't want it. I'm telling you. I'm trying to make a quick exit, real quick. I don't want nothing to do with it. Because I don't want to have to kill one of God's children. I don't want to have to do that. So if that means I got to run, I'm going to run. If that means I don't go certain places, I don't go certain places. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. Because if I'm taken to if you pull me out of my character and you pull me to that place, we there now. And I don't ever want to be there. I never want to be there. Some people like, I'm about that life. I'm not about that life at all. I don't want nothing to do with that. Yo writes, did anything ever come from the three ladies that wasn't able to enter the restaurant here in Ohio? Yeah, we got a fresh code. J-Raj instituted the fresh code. It's like a dress code for his establishment. I mean, that's his prerogative. Hell, I mean, I know that when I go there now, that I'm going to be around other people that's fresh. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. You know, that's his. If he didn't mind losing their business, then I don't mind him losing their business. So that's totally up to him. Tanika writes, wow, Nate, I'm a few minutes behind the show, but wow, Nate, shaking my head. Hey, good to see you, Tanika. And a beautiful black genius daughter you got. Hope y'all doing well. You slow if you think facts don't matter. Sister V writes, but at least LeBron took it down. We all had the same reaction. True that. Very true. True that. Very right. We all had the same reaction, but we got to be. People like LeBron is on a whole nother level than the rest of us. I mean, like I said, the man got 30 million plus Instagram followers. He's getting $250,000, $400,000 three or 400,000 interactions per tweet. And for somebody like him, before he tweets a picture of an officer talking about you're next with an emoji of an hourglass, which is what he did, he has to know the facts before he does that. He don't get to do what the rest of us do. Like you and me, we can just get in our bag of our feelings and just tweet some dumb shit. And then he can't do that. He can't do that. He on a whole nother level. It's a trade-off. You get the whole world knows who you are. You internationally famous. You worth $1 billion. You got $300 million deals over here and over there and over here and over there. You in Space Jams too, for God's sakes. The trade-off is that you got to be responsible when you go on social media. Now, I don't know about you, but that's a fair trade-off. That's a fair trade-off. Any day and all day. Craig writes, that's a big-ass grizzly bear of a guy. So you're wrong for that, man. You're wrong for that. I'm not going there. Samantha writes, does anyone know if the officer was patrolling by himself? Don't know. I don't know if he was called to the scene because I believe there was a 911 call. And as a matter of fact, give me a second because the 911 calls have been released. And we can listen to them this morning if you're into that kind of thing. Let me see if I can find them here. I think that they are going to be, this is public. This is within the public domain, I believe. And I think that we can listen to this. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find this here. Okay. I'm seeing that they've got it behind some firewalls and some paywalls here. Give me a second. I may take a quick break at about 15 minutes, and that'll give me enough time to see if I can cue it up. I have not heard it, so it'll be interesting to listen to it. Columbus police shooting, 911 caller says someone's trying to stab us before officer killed knife swinging teen. Pardon me. So let me look for that. So it is out there, and let me see if I can find it. Give me 1 second here, because I think that that's something we'd be interested in, right? Per the conversation that we're having this morning. So let me see if I can find it. Hold on. I got something that I'm looking at here that's not on the screen. Just give me 1 second here, and we'll see if we can actually play the 911 call. That'll give us some more information as to what the officer's mindset was. Like, what was he reacting to? Why did he come out with a weapon and not a taser? Which, again, I think that's a question that needs to be answered. In my humble opinion, you might feel differently. Let me see what I got here. See if we can play this. This is the Columbus somebody. I don't know if this is the police chief or not in Columbus. Let me see what this is. I don't know what this is. I haven't pre-listened to this, so this could be some dumb-ish, but we'll see.
Notified that we need a medic at that scene. 6 minutes after the shots were fired, a Madison Township medic arrived at scene and performed life-saving measures to include transport to Mount Carmel East Hospital. Are we ready with the 911 calls? We'll first play the first 911 calls so you have that information.
911, where is your emergency? Is there an apartment number or letter? What's going on?
Come up here. The
Ma'am,
address
you need to talk to me.
is 3171 We got these grown girls over here trying to fight us, trying to stop us, trying to put our hands on our grandma. Get here now.
Have you seen any weapons? Ma'am, do you see any weapons?
We need a police officer here now.
Do you see any weapons?
Police officer now.
Ma'am, do you see any weapons?
On the dog trying to hear us. No!
The remaining time on that audio will just be a dial tone, but again, you'll have that full information. We'll play the second call now.
(911), what's the address of your emergency?
It's on Legion Lane.
What's the emergency there?
Oh, well, never mind. The police are already out here. Never mind. Thank you.
Okay.
Again, those were the only two 911 calls we received, and we did not receive any 645-45 non-emergency line calls. Just for some additional information, we received those first call at 4:32 p.m. Officers were dispatched at 4:35 p.m.
Okay, I think
and
that
the first officers arrived at scene at 4.
I think that we got the gist of it there. I hadn't heard that before, so it sounds as if they said that there were knives out, so that's what the officer was responding to, a call about people having knives. That might give us some indication as to why he felt the need to have his weapon out and not a taser or something else. I don't know. So what do you think? Janice writes, yes, good dental health is not only for your appearance, but for your total health and your digestive system. Yeah, a lot of people don't know. Yeah. Health is, there's nothing sexier than a healthy body. It's nothing sexier. Tiffany writes, B. Nichelle, how would you know who is whom? Question mark. If you're yelling stop, and then after you see someone try to stab another, would you know who was who if it was you from that footage? Nobody wanted that young lady to die. Yeah, I mean, I just put myself in that officer's place. You get a call, you walk up, all this pandemonium, people being kicked, screaming and yelling right in front of you. You give 2 verbal commands. Nobody even pays attention to you. And do you see somebody being pinned up against a vehicle in front of you by someone who has a knife in their hand, and y'all expect for him to do nothing? Y'all just, some people want him just to stab her. Just let him stab her, and then he'll figure out who did what after she's on the ground. I would say that wouldn't be good police work. And it's tragic, but I'll say it again. When the boys roll up, chill. Everybody around the world knows that when law enforcement rolls up, you chill. Unless you just don't care, and then whatever they do is what happens. But you can't have it both ways. It just don't work that way. Condolences. Tracy writes, he agreed with Nate. Sister V writes, leave LeBron alone. Yo writes, sounds like Snoop getting the bag. Yeah, Snoop is getting the bag. Charles writes, I knew Drop would get his saddle out. Is that right? Oh, man. Tabitha writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Good morning to you, Tabitha. Janice writes, Drop a real wannabe. I'm telling you, Drop loves it when y'all talk about him. He loves it. Lynn writes, go vote. Absolutely. Absolutely, Lynn. Go vote. It means everything. Go vote. You can vote, early vote right now. And we need to talk about this. In fact, I am planning on some shows so we can talk about some of the ballot initiatives. There's some people that want to change the rules. And since we're talking about voting, I read within the last 24 hours that the special prosecutor who made $250 an hour for a year or so, and the only thing he came up with is something that we already knew from back in 2019. That's a hell of a special prosecutor job. Damn it, I wish I had a prosecutor job like that. You're going to pay me $250 an hour for a year so I can do an investigation. And the only thing I come up with is what Wendell Young already admitted. But the latest on that is that the special prosecutor is pushing for Wendell Young to resign. He wants him off of city council. And many of you live in Cincinnati. I'd like to know how you feel about that. Do you think that Wendell Young should resign? Should Wendell Young resign because he's been charged? What do you think? He's your representative on some levels. What do you think? Special prosecutor to seek suspension of Cincinnati City Councilman Wendell Young after felony indictment. Wendell Young only has 7 months left. The special prosecutor told local news that he plans to ask the Ohio Supreme Court to initiate suspension proceedings against Cincinnati City Councilman Wendell Young after his felony indictment. Quote, I think so. You have an elected official who committed a felony. It's just appropriate he be suspended. Now, Patrick Hanley should know better. Wendell Young hasn't been convicted and or pled guilty to anything at this point. And to me, Patrick Hanley is doing this for two reasons. One, he's doing this to legitimize the large amount of money he's made off of this case. White males have made so much money prosecuting black people in Cincinnati in the last 10, 15 years. Remember those special prosecutors, Joe Dieter's good buddies? They made hundreds of thousands of dollars prosecutor Tracy Hunter. Going after black folks is big business for some people here in Hamilton County. For some people. Everybody don't get those kind of jobs. And then secondly, it's politically motivated. I told you folks back in 2019 it was politically motivated. I told you in 2020 it was politically motivated. I told you in 2021 it's politically motivated. And now that it's the early part of 2022, guess what, family? It's still politically motivated because it works like this. Wendell Young steps down. Who do you think gets to appoint him? A Republican judge. And who do you think he's going to appoint? Probably a Republican that has a desire to be on city council. And so now this individual would get a 5 month runway to appeal to voters, just like Goodwin, just like Sunderman, just like Keating. None of them were elected by the people. All of them were appointed. All of them are Republicans. All of them want to be on city council. So now they get a chance to run while in office. I keep telling folks, that's what it was from day one. Now, did some people put nails in their own coffin? Maybe so. Maybe so. They made it even help. They helped them out with it. But that's what the plot is. Let's remake council, put more Republicans on there, and let's see if they got a real shot at being reelected come November of 2022. If you can't see that, then you're blind. It's very obvious. I don't like it because anybody can be charged. How's it go with prosecutors? Like, generally speaking, what do they say about prosecutors and grand juries? That you can indict a ham sandwich. You can indict a bowl of macaroni if the prosecutor decides to make that case. That's very, very dangerous that we can use the local legal system to have an impact on city council. Very, very dangerous. And again, I thought this had already been decided with. Joe Dieters initially said that he wasn't going to, this was a civil matter, not a criminal matter. All of a sudden, it's a criminal matter. Robert Rubin said, you know what, nothing really big here. Move on with your life. But the special prosecutor, Patrick Hanley, oh no, we got one count. Because, and again, what we've learned here, and to any of my friends who might find themselves in this situation, here's what you got to do. You can't say and admit, you can't be honest. You have to lie. You got to lie like the white folks. What do I mean? Well, when local authorities wanted to see the text messages of John Cranley, what did he say? He said he was in a hot tub and oops, my bad, I dropped my BlackBerry into the hot tub and I can't get any messages. Nobody said another word about it. Investigation stops there. Wendell Young tried to be honest and told him, yeah, I deleted them after the city solicitor looked at him. And before the judge told me not to, he gets charged. So you have to lie. You got to say, I was in the shower and I dropped it. Now, I don't know how, maybe things were different back then, but if I drop my phone in the shower, I can still recover my text messages via my account. But I guess they do something different with my phone service operators. I didn't know it worked that way, but okay. Okay, I'll take you for your word. You got to lie. You got to lie. You know, if you're a white female and you leave your baby in a hot car, just tell them you forgot. You can't tell the truth. If you're a black female and you want to run in Walmart for 20 minutes and you leave your kids in the car, you can't lie. You got to say, I forgot. I mean, you can't tell the truth. You have to lie. You got to say you forgot. Oh, I meant to bring them in, but I forgot my kids. My bad. Thank you, officer. They'll let you go. But if you tell the truth, you're going to get charged. I know it makes no sense. I know it makes no sense what I'm saying whatsoever, but that's what's happened. Good morning, son. I want you to knock this over. You coming to say good morning? Good morning. How you feeling, bud? Good. You sure? Mm-hmm. Okay. Good. Well, yes, you told us that. The camera's right there, buddy, as I keep telling you. I am, because I can see everybody and see the people on the screen and stuff like that. I can't see them. They're over here, see? See over here? You can't see their faces. Not really. You can put their faces on like that, see? What's up, Ashley? Trey writes, don't mess with the feds. I'm glad you're feeling good. Craig writes, it has to be Smitherman or Reese. Or Slender Man. Okay. Hey, Ed. That's my boy. He makes his daily appearance on the show. Jesse writes, more clues, please. Yeah, so this is just a rumor. Information came to me, but with everything going on, I want to throw it out there. I wasn't told otherwise. So this came to me as a rumor. Only got it from one source that perhaps another black politician might get caught up in the whole PPP fraud situation, and perhaps charges are pending. Okay, and I'll leave it like that. And I'm saying no names, but we'll leave it like that. If something happens, then you'll know that what I heard was true. Terry writes, well, if Kevin hasn't called and told Lincoln, I can't believe it. Let me see. Question was asked ad nauseum 2 weeks ago. Is that right? Drop writes, cash in dirty public officials in Cincinnati. At least you didn't say Campaign Kelly. That's much better. Good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Good morning to you.
Get to the chopper!
Craig writes, shot by accident, accidentally shooting others, all supposition. Cush is in the house. He writes, target practice. Anthony writes, you're trained to shoot until the threat is stopped. Cam is in the house. Good to see you, Cam. Christian is in the house. He writes, I believe the shooting in Chicago with 13-year-old Toledo will be found justified as well. Yeah, I saw that video. Ooh, man, gun in your hand. You might be right about that. Sarah Rice training, that was center mass kill shot. Yeah, that was a very short distance. I mean, these officers are trained. They spend a lot of time on the range. So if they fire till you go down, they are trained to shoot to kill. Yeah, they're trained to shoot to kill. Your officers are trained to shoot to kill. They're not trying to get your attention. They're not trying to wound you. When they pull that weapon and they say chill, they mean chill. It is not a game. They're not playing with you. Then they're trying to get your attention. If they pull that trigger, they're trying to take you out the game. That's what they're trained to do, as I understand it. I haven't been to police training. I had an invitation to go hang out with the cops. I will still take that, but we'll see what happens. Okay. We'll see what happens. Got my favorite T. Let me see. Tracy writes, I think I read that already. Maurice writes, training would have shot her in the leg. She would have lost all fight getting shot in the leg. Maybe. I mean, there are people that have been shot and run away and don't realize they've been shot until later on in that because they got so much adrenaline. So I think all that's unrealistic. You know, as I understand it, when a police officer pulls his weapon, he's shooting to kill. TNT writes, over or 147 shots like the couple in Cleveland in the car. Oh, yeah, they did them dirty. Got up on top of the car and shot into the window like he was John McClane in Die Hard 2 or something. Just not good at all. Not good. Cam writes, watch the Roland Martin True Breakdown with Black lawyers. This breakdown here is okay. I hear you. Okay, I'll check it out. I'm sure Roland did had a dope conversation. I just haven't seen it. I'm sure it's really dope. I'll check it out. Sarah writes, race is always a factor. Willie writes, that was a verbal command. She did not do so. Tabitha writes, what happened to the police tactics and training? Don't they know how to attain someone and take them down? Okay, let me show you this images here, Tabitha. So this is what the officer saw, because this is from the officer's body cam. This is a still shot, but it happened pretty fast in the moment. The officer was about, 10, 12 feet away. And he was supposed to do what exactly, Tabitha? His weapon is already drawn. He's already given at least 2 commands, as I understand people are saying. And you're saying he was supposed to do what? Run over to her, grab her arm, and wrestle with her. I just feel like that's unrealistic. Why is everybody focusing on an officer and not this girl with a knife? I don't see anybody else with a knife. Why? I am no officer, but we expect the officer to close a 10 to 12 foot distance on his feet and then do what exactly? I feel like this is just one of those things that just came together with the timing of it, and it was just very, very tragic. I think that's what I feel like. I think it was very tragic. Maybe in a different scenario, even with a knife that gives the officer more options, time, or something like that. But again, people acting like, or it's coming across to me that some people would have been happier if the officer did nothing and just allow, Micaiah to stab the woman or the female in the pink. Just let her stab her. Just let her stab her. That would have been better. I don't know, family. I just feel like, I say it again. When the boys roll up, chill. 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 Drop your weapon. Stop all that. Chill. Because they don't know who's who. They don't know who's who. If I'm an officer and I get a call like that, I don't know who's who. I know somebody said there's a knife there. So somebody here had a knife or has a knife. I don't know who's who. I don't know who's the aggressor, who's the perpetrator, who started this. I have no idea. All I know is what I see. That's all I know. Let me see here. Kush writes, I want equal justice. Tabitha writes, I can't wait until the other cops get convicted for George Floyd. I'm with you on that. I think they should all get convicted and go to jail. I mean, that was just terrible right there. It's just some things you just don't do, man. Shout out to the officers out there that's on some real ish that care about the people. But as I brought up, so what do you think about the special prosecutor wants Wendell Young off of city council? Think about that. Somebody made an excellent point. Pardon me. My apology, pardon me. Somebody made an interesting point that if Wendell Young is suspended from council, that means that a majority of non-elected officials is going to make the decision about that federal COVID relief money. Like, I don't feel comfortable with this. I don't feel comfortable with so many people on council that haven't been elected, all appointed by Republican judges, all but one. I mean, in the case of Bessie Sunderman, she was the replacement of Amy Murray, so her situation didn't have anything to do with the scandal. She just took the place of Amy Murray. Amy Murray wanted a white female to replace her, and that's what she got. I added the white part. I don't know if she wanted a white female, but she definitely wanted a female. And I just don't know how many black females are in the local Republican Party who are even considered. So that's why I say I want to be fair with people. When people understand what I'm saying, I speak from I speak from a foundational basis on facts. Hamilton County Probate Court Judge Ted Winkler, a Republican, will select Young's replacement. Now, Winkler has already appointed 2 Republicans to fill the last 2 open seats, Steve Gooden and Liz Keating. That could have been Pavin Parikh. That would have been Pavin. You know, we here at CDM, my show, the Is It Just Me podcast with Donnie B, we did our part. We did our part to let people know you had an option, you had a choice. We didn't talk in detail. I don't remember talking about that. Now, nobody could have foresaw that. But every single elected official and position matters. I don't care if you're the county recorder. I don't care if you're the county dog catcher. If you're an elected official, that position matters. That could have been Pavin that made that decision, and he would have chose something different, more than likely. I'm just saying it is what it is. So the victor goes the spoils. The Republican probate Judge Ted Winkler won. He gets a chance to decide. It is what it is. But just think about that. And they might try to strong arm Wendell Young's like, look, either we're going to continue with these charges and try to get these 3 years on you, or you going to step off. What you going to do? Now, what is he supposed to do when he got 7 months left? That's a hell of a place to be in. Because he deleted a text message. We don't even know what the text message is really about. From his personal phone. It wasn't like he was deleting text messages like people call into his office and he delete. This is his personal phone. I mean, there's really a question mark out there that needs to be answered, in my opinion, as to whether the personal cell phones of council members is within the public domain. That's a question that needs to be answered. Like I said, those sunshine laws need to be updated. They were written before all this technology and smartphones and stuff. But how do you feel about this? Now, is this the empire striking back? Because, Wendell Young went hard with Sister Yvette Simpson last year in the local business community because they wanted more money from Children's Hospital for that deal for Avondale. That put Wendell Young in the crosshairs of a lot of people. Now, it could be that. It could be something else. What I keep hearing, and I don't have to be right about this. This doesn't have to be right. This is just speculation. But what I keep hearing is that the mayor, John Cranley, is behind a lot of this. If so, then John Cranley should be nominated for the Lord Peter Baelish Award for 2022. Like, if John Cranley is behind this, he is not to be F with. If he really is behind some of this, he's not to be played with at all. Not one bit. And that's what I keep hearing from different sources. I don't know if it's true. I'm just telling you what I'm hearing. What's the point of, having a show like this if I can't share with you some of what I hear? Can't tell you everything because I never betray any allegiances. Somebody tell me keep it to yourself, then I can't talk about it. Won't be talked about by me. Shout out to Queens Village. They did a Cincinnati mayoral candidate forum last night, and I haven't got a chance to watch it. They had everybody there except for Herman Najoli, who is running the absolute worst campaign I've ever seen in my life for mayor. How in the hell are you going to run for mayor during the virtual age? And you're not even going to these virtual events. I just cannot take Herman and Jolie seriously anymore at all. And I don't think anybody else should because he ain't taking it seriously. He's not even taking his candidacy seriously. So why should we take it seriously? But you can find, shout out to Queen. I can't say enough about Queens Village and the work they do. I have nothing but respect. And I just read something recently. I think they're actually moving the needle. I think they're actually moving the needle for us. Care about black people and black babies and black women, you have to understand what Queens Village is doing in Cincinnati. Props to them. Doing great work for us in our community. They're making Hamilton County stronger. It's about black folks, but it's about everybody. It really is. I got nothing but respect for the work they do. Hey, Pat Rice Rackham. Kush Rice Rackham. Cam Rice played the 911 call. They came to her home and attempted an assault by home invasion. I did play the 911 call. I am becoming more aware of that, Cam. I don't have all the information. Sounds like you got more information than I do, so please share, brother. But I don't think that matters. I think what matters is what the officer responded to, the information he had, and then the scene that he drove and walked into. I think that's what matters most. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. David writes, I will never agree with him killing that girl. You talking about the officer? I don't want you to agree, David. I'm just a truth seeker. I'm trying to figure out what the truth is, what's real. That's what's more important to me more than anything else. So I'm not trying to agree with no officers because, I'll be the first one or one of the first ones to hit the show and talk about, tragic police shooting, and we'll go through it. And we've done that for years and years. We'll do that every single time. You know what I'm saying? I wept openly on the air about what happened with my brothers and sisters out here because I feel so deeply about it. So, I'm not in anybody's pocket, especially, not law enforcement. But real is real. I have to tell you what I see. Why would y'all want to watch anybody, any kind of media where somebody will lie to you or somebody might succumb to prevailing winds? You want to stand up guy. That's what you got. Sandy writes, again, why not tase her? Well, again, Sandy, okay, here's a scenario. The officer is about 12 feet behind her. There's all kind of fighting going on. His weapon is already out. He's given 2 commands for people to chill. Nobody's paid attention to it. And then he sees that. So, Sandy, you're telling me that in I don't know how long and how fast it will take for somebody to bring a knife forward, but let's say it's less than a second. So you do the movement right now wherever you are. You do that movement that she's in right now, and you bring your hand forward as if you're going to stab somebody. I think you can do that in less than a second. And let's just, for the sake of the conversation, let's say it takes 1 second to bring your hand forward. It doesn't take a second, but let's say it does. So you're telling me, Sandy, that it's reasonable to expect for this officer who's already got his weapon out to holster his weapon and pull a taser out within the time it's going to take her to bring that knife forward. I don't think that's reasonable, Sandy. I really don't. I don't think that's reasonable. I think it's unfortunate. I think it's tragic. I wish it didn't happen to sis like that. That young girl will never know what she could have brought to our community. We've all lost. Everybody's lost because of this. But I don't think that's reasonable, Sandy. I really don't. I don't think it's reasonable. Now, the question I think is fair is, why didn't he have a taser in his hand instead of a weapon? That's fair. I think that's a question that needs to be answered, but I don't know. That's a tough one right there. Kinda. It's kind of a tough one. Hey, Jerica. Question: if it is determined that those women showed up at that 16-year-old's house to assault her, and as a result of their actions, the 16-year-old assaulted them, which resulted in her death, should those women be charged? That's a good question. That's a good question. I think that's a fair question. So you're saying if not by the actions called by the folks that started this whole thing, then the police never would have been called and Micaiah never would have been that scenario. I mean, that's a lot of ifs and I don't know, Jericho. I just don't know. I'm just not smart enough. I just don't have enough experience to really answer that question. I just don't. Should they be charged? Because right, there's been scenarios where people, like two people will go to commit a crime, right? They go rob a convenience store. But then as they're leaving, the convenience store owner shoots one of them and kills them. And so the partner in crime gets charged with the death, that type of thing. I hear what you're saying. I don't know. Would I be upset if that happened? Not upset. I need more information. I need more information. Can I be honest with you? I need more information. Akeem writes, straight from Zamunda, grown-ass women trying to jump a 16-year-old for world star clout. Damn shame, right? See how it happens? That's why I don't do none of that. Never have, never will. You ain't gonna never see me out there. And you better not see my children out there. We don't play those games. We don't play fight. You ain't gonna never see me shadow boxing with nobody. I don't shadow box. I don't play no games like that ever and never have. I don't slap box. I don't pillow fight. I don't do none of that. You ain't gonna never see me playing with no grown people in no way, not like that, never like that. Because it always leads to somebody's tempers going up and people being upset. Always. Every single time. Cam writes, there were 3 officers already there when Cowboy Jack shows up. Yeah. That might be true. I know that there was at least one officer in the video that we saw. We haven't played the video this morning because I ain't trying to get clicks by playing the death of somebody. I ain't trying to do that. I don't want to come across like that. I think that's insensitive. My purposes are purely analytical and educational. So I played a lot of it yesterday. Unless people haven't seen it and you really want to see it and you think it'll accentuate our conversation in a meaningful way, then I'm there for it. But other than that, I ain't for that. We're looking at a young sister lose her life. And that's very, very tragic. Like I said, I got a daughter that's going to be 16 this year. So I identify very, very closely. But little Buddha's been taught the same way I speak. She's been taught to leave people the hell alone. She better not be. She's been taught, don't play with people like that. You know what I'm saying? But don't let nobody play with you like that. That's just how my son is taught the same way. We don't play those kind of games because those kind of games lead to people being killed. Things get misinterpreted. Hell, I don't even want my daughter to hug nobody in school. You know what I'm saying? There's no contact whatsoever because things get misinterpreted real quick. Fernay writes, Nate, the age matters if those are grown women fighting a minor. It matters to a point, but it doesn't matter from the perspective of the police officer who rolls up. He don't know the ages of anybody. He don't know the scenario. He don't know who called the police. And he sees a grown man fighting what appears to be a younger girl, kicking her in the head. And then he sees a woman with a knife in her hand about to stab another woman. He don't know who's who and all that. He don't know all of that. And it really wouldn't matter. I'm just saying, for a second, and we hate doing this, but put yourself in the shoes of the white police officer that got the call. Now, we don't like doing that, right? Some of y'all looking at me like, what did he say? We don't do you off code, son. No, I'm on code. I'm very on code. We got to look at this objectively. That's how I look at it. Jericho writes, why was she there? How did she get into the mix? At the beginning of the video, the girl in pink was not in the driveway. You're right. All of that's right, but it don't matter. The boys roll up, gets out the car. Stop. Nobody listens. Stop. Nobody listens. Weapons drawn, pandemonium, fights, kicking in the head. I see somebody with a knife about to stab somebody. Boom. And my question is, not y'all, I don't want to speak in general in any kind of derogatory terms to my audience, but it appears to me that some people would have been happier if he did nothing and just let her get stabbed. And then people would have criticized him and said, you didn't do anything. Why didn't you do something? You should have did something. You just let her stab. People would have been like, oh, see, he don't care about black life. It's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. That doesn't mean that in general, policing doesn't need to be reformed and that there aren't a whole bunch of Conan barbaric police out there. Two things, three things can be true at the same time. That's all I'm saying. Terry writes, a father in that situation may not have any other choice but to hit a kid or boy, and you don't know if he saw weapons or not, head on a swivel. In that situation, the girl had already been down and was trying to get up, and he was too fixated on trying to get a blow in. And he didn't even see what was happening to the girl behind him until the shots rang out. And then in the video, he starts screaming, "Why'd you do that? You didn't have to do that. Oh my God." He should have been protecting hit the girl from day one, in my opinion. In my opinion. That's just the way I look at it. But I got the benefit of being a Monday morning quarterback. I wasn't there. Tamika writes, I don't see him as a hero. He got out the car and automatically pulled his gun, not his taser. He already made up his mind he was going to shoot someone. In that situation, nobody is looking at the cops. I don't know if it's fair to say that he already made up his mind that he was going to shoot someone. I think it's clear that he had made up his mind that potentially he may have to shoot someone, which I think is different. But you're right. He did automatically pull his gun out. You're absolutely right about that. Why? Maybe it's because he got a call. The 911 call says somebody had a knife. Now, if any police out there would have to tell me, if you get a call that somebody has a knife, what do you use, your weapon or your taser? I don't know. We do know that there are people who have been tased and it does not deliver the desired effect. Let me put it that way. I want to choose my words very carefully because some people say, "Oh, it had no effect." No, it has an effect. It just doesn't have the desired effect. I've seen people that have been able to take the barbs out. I've seen the videos. I've seen people who have been tased and they go automatically down and they go into like the fetal position. I've seen people who get tased and the taser doesn't deploy properly. I've seen people get tased and it seems that it doesn't have the desired effect and they keep on with whatever they're doing. So I don't know. It's just we all Monday morning quarterback because that's the nature of this business. Talk radio, daily shows. We all gonna do that. I mean, I'm not gonna stop Monday morning quarterbacking because what we talk about, right? But I think we got to be fair about this. Maurice writes, LeBron took that down, yet it's still talked about. It's imprinted in people's minds. That's because not everything is permanent on the internet. You can never take nothing down. You put something up, it can be screenshotted. Like on my phone, all I got to do is hold two buttons and you hear this. Okay, that didn't really go the way I wanted. You hear that? Maybe you didn't. It's a click noise. I press two buttons, I can screenshot anything that I see on my screen. Everything is permanent these days, especially if you're LeBron James. Cam Rice should have listened before making all these crazy assumptions. I'm not making any crazy assumptions. I'm just simply working on the information that we have, including this. What assumptions are to be made? I see a woman with a knife in her hand, and she is in the universal body language position of I'm about to stab your ass. What assumptions are you making? What assumptions are you talking about, bro? I'm not making any assumptions. I've said quite straight up, I don't have all the information. All we have is what we have. And Cam, I don't know if you have any children or not, but if you do, and even if you don't, ask yourself this, bro. What if that was your family member in pink? Let's start from there. Because what's happening is too many people are starting from George Floyd. Too many people are trying to analyze this from what happened with George Floyd. That don't matter in this situation. So I don't know what you're talking about. But I will check out Roland. He does a great show. He puts together a good panel and great panel. I'm sure it's great. I'm sure I learned something. Call says someone's trying to stab us. He pulls up and sees someone wielding a knife and a vulnerable potential victim. What is the issue here, people? Well, what the issue is people are in their emotions about white police officers in America, and for good reason, justifiable reasons. What people are doing is they're starting at Breonna Taylor, and then they're bringing Breonna Taylor to this. They're starting at Timothy Thomas, and they're bringing Timothy Thomas to this. They're starting at George Floyd, And they're bringing George Floyd to this, and that is the wrong way to look at it. The right way to look at it is to put yourself in this situation right here. Brown skin Gotti. I like that. Brown skin Gotti. What up, brown skin Gotti? Officer could have shoot to disarm, but they shoot to kill us. Okay, brown skin Gotti, let me do this again. So you're telling me officer gets a call that somebody has a knife and is trying to stab. He don't know who made the call. He has no idea who made the call. He rolls up with his weapon drawn, gives 2 commands for people to get his attention. They both are ignored. Pandemonium is taking place in front of him. There's a couple of skirmishes. And then he sees this, brown skin Gotti. And he's supposed to shoot to disarm. Where is he supposed to shoot her at? In the leg? Come on, brown skin Gotti. I just don't feel like that's reasonable. I think it's too much television. I've been to the firing range. I mean, I'm pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Years and years of Call of Duty and Halo. I'm pretty good with it. You know what I'm saying? I could definitely spend a whole lot more time. And if I did, I would be deadly with it. Okay, I'm not at deadly level with it, but I'm pretty good. I'm a decent shot. He supposed to, in the heat of the moment, adrenaline, he supposed to shoot her in the Achilles. And would that even stop her? I don't know, brown skin Gotti. I don't think that's reasonable. I really, really don't. I think that's unreasonable. I think we're asking a little bit too much. I think it'd be more reasonable to have asked a couple things to happen. Number one, for the adults to be adults and maintain and take more control of the situation, because that shit ain't happening outside of my house. I tell you why. If some girls come to our house, number one, I'm not worried about somebody trying to get in my house. That'd be a really bad option, right? For somebody to choose to try to get into my home on some, I'm going to run through your house type shit. That just ain't going to happen. But let's say a bunch of girls showed up to fight Medium Buddha. I'll make her go on the porch and say something to her. Like, y'all need to disperse. After that, she going to come back in the house and we're going to call the boys from inside the house. We ain't even going to come out there and deal with that nonsense. We ain't even going to we got security cams. Are you going to put some damage on the property? Go ahead and do that. We got you on camera. We'll take care of it later. You know what I'm saying? Your mom and them going to pay for this, or we're going to garnish your wages. You're going to pay for it one way or the other. I ain't worried about these little creature comforts. We're going to be inside the house looking out the window, looking at you when the boys roll up. Simple as that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Now, we're not going to cower inside the house. We're going to hit the porch and let you know where you at and who you talking to. I ain't going to do all that shit. Let you know to disperse. After that, we let the boys handle it. That's it. We're not out here running around, fighting, trying to stab people. We ain't doing none of that. We're going to be inside, looking through the window, looking at you like you a damn fool, waiting for the boys to show up. Oh, they'll be here soon. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. But let's say I'm outside. Pandemonium taking place. Medium Buddha's out there. She fighting for her life. I ain't worried about no one and nothing else but her. If anybody's getting stabbed, it's going to be me. It ain't going to be her. She ain't getting into no altercations while I'm standing unless it's a one-on-one situation. Now, you ain't running from no one person now. We ain't, nah, hell no. Go out there and handle that work. If it's more than that, then come on in the house. I ain't about to jump our daughter, but I'm not even going to put her in a position where she can be jumped. And if I am outside, when the boys show up, guess who getting the attention? The boys. He got a weapon in his hand. It's 2022. We know how this goes. And I'm just amazed that people are excusing what you see right here. She's about to stab her. And too many people are looking over this. Y'all act like this is reasonable. Like, well, they came to her house to get her, so she got the upper hand. Man, y'all need to stop with that. Anybody who's got that mentality needs to stop. That's part of the problem. So brown skin Gotti, yeah. Sometimes the cops shoot, well, they always shoot to kill, and sometimes it's justified. Yeah, sometimes it's justified. Now, is it justified in this case? I don't know. We'll find out. You know, the law and legal review, internal affairs, whoever investigate, you know, however they do things in Columbus, they'll investigate it. But let's not act like the cops never are justified in using that kind of lethal force. Please stop. Cam writes, Nathan, bro, you are misinformed about the police shooting in Columbus and spreading bad information. Do due diligence and proper research on the matter before speaking. Is that right? Okay, well then educate me, brother. What are we wrong about? What am I wrong about exactly? Because I don't want to spread no misinformation, brother. I want to make sure I'm 100. But now that you said that, you've got a responsibility to educate me. Please do. Let me flash that number up there because I know you know what it is. There it is right there. Please call in and you got the floor. Please tell us what we don't know because I always want to be with the facts. I always want to be with the facts. So if there's something that we don't know, brother, please share with us. Please share with us. What don't we understand about this picture right here? What don't we understand? What am I missing exactly? Please educate us. Please elucidate. Please let us know. Because I would like to know. I want to make sure we put the most correct facts out there. Are you saying that this image has been altered? Is that what you're saying? Because I'd like to know. I'd like to know. Please set me straight, brother. I do not want to be wrong about something that we're spending so much time talking about. And if you have facts that we just don't do, then, be a good brother and let us know. Let the family know. Let us know. 513-873-7134. Now, maybe not a place to call in. I totally understand that people are busy, but drop us a link or just drop us some flows and let us know what we're wrong about. Let me see here. Castle doctrine covers the entire surveyed land that your home sits on, including the driveway. Listen, the facts are still cloudy, but we can use common sense as well, but common sense is not so common anymore. Okay, so I don't understand what you're saying there. Please, I don't get it. Again, to my recollection, in most cases in which people are using stand your ground, the police are not there. It's just them and another citizen, and they have to deal with this confrontation themselves. What makes this situation different is that the police officer was called to the scene. He don't know whose house it is. He has no idea. Now, if people are making the argument that the officer should have said something like drop the knife, okay, I can hear that. If the question is like two questions. Number one, why did you have a taser in your hand and not a weapon? I think that's fair. And then secondly, why did you not yell stop? But based upon the available information, I think that he can explain that. I think he can say, look, I gave 2 commands and nobody paid attention to me. And I thought that she was about to stab her and I wanted to save her. Now, if he says that to me from where I sit, that's going to be very compelling. It's going to be very compelling. But again, Cam, if you got some information, please share it, brother. But it's going to take more than you just saying stuff like common sense is not so common to convince me. It's going to take more than that. Hello, Junior. Michael Rice training him up. Oh, yeah, I got to do that with my little man right there. You already know. Chip off the old block right there. Susan Rice, not Reese. I'm not going to say who it is because I think with it being a rumor, that would be wrong. I don't want to put the name out there. But we'll see. Somebody writes, read Ohio knife law reform bill that was signed. Okay. I admit I am not aware of it. PPP got the hood popping. Yep, it sure do. It does. Oh, man. Be careful, man. Be careful with that PPP loan stuff. Akeem writes, no gun in hand, Nate. Okay. I hear you. Greater Cincinnati Choral Union writes, what's left? Black politicians become extinct in the CVG. Good morning to you, Greater Cincinnati Choral Union. Let's just say that there's two things happening here. Number one, are black politicians being targeted? Well, black people are targeted. So, of course, black people that put themselves on a pedestal are going to be targeted. They're going to be scrutinized, and you're going to have to watch yourself. We already know that. At the same time, there are people that need to watch their own actions. You know, what I have said to people publicly and privately is this. I'll share it with you. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. If you know people are out here gunning for you, don't put nails in your own coffin. Let them do that. Let them do that. Why would you put ammunition in your op's gun and you know they're pointing for you, they're gunning for you? It's just not smart. You got to watch yourself out here these days in Cincinnati. And for the people out there that have been accused of this PPP loan stuff, the thing about that is that the proof is in the paperwork. It's going to be real it's going to be real black and white. So we'll find out as to what's the truth with those particular situations, because if the feds or criminal or law enforcement is bringing charges, that's because they're looking at the paperwork. And so the paperwork is going to say everything. So be watching yourself. That's all I can say is watch yourself. Michael writes, it's always shoot to kill on black lives. I feel you, but it's always shoot to kill for everybody when the police pull a weapon out. When the police pull a weapon out and pull that trigger, they're trying to kill any and everybody that they're pointing at. It don't matter who it is. Black, white, rich, poor, old, young, famous, not famous. It don't matter. That's what they're trained to do. And I'll say this again because we don't focus on this. We only focus when it's black folks. I've seen videos of white folks getting a business. I've seen videos of white folks, get out the car, bang, drag them over the glass. Whoop that ass. Lace them up, throw them in the back. I know we act like it's only us, but it's not only us. We just get it worse, but it's not only us. It's not true. It's not true. They come at us differently, absolutely, but it's not just, this is a citizen problem. It's not just a black problem. Cam writes, training would say in a command, drop the knife or I will shoot. Again, now I just brought that to your attention. You have yet to share with me what information, because I think that's a very serious allegation you made, bro. And I know you might still be sore after the last time I tried to educate you about Ice Cube. You seem like the type that'll hold on to something like that for a long time. I hope that's not what you're doing right now. I hope you got something of something substantial to say. Because you lightweight called me out. You said I was on the air misinforming people, and I'm still waiting for you to share with me and for us and tell people how I'm misinformed. I'm still waiting on that, bro. You owe me that. You owe us that and yourself, because your credibility is on the line, bro. So how is we misinformed? How am I misinformed? Not we. How am I misinforming people? I would like to know. Number one, because if it's true, then I want to make sure I'm correct. That's number one. And if it's not true, then I want people to know that you was just on some other ish this morning. Daryl writes, taser her. Crystal writes, Wendell Young should not resign. I don't want to see Wendell go either. I like his politics. I think he has been good to the city. And I think he overall is a good force. If you're talking about black folks, I think in particular for black folks, he's good for us. And I think in general for the city, he's good for the city as a member of city council. I don't care about him deleting no text messages. So what? Maybe he has some nudie pics on there and he didn't want nobody to see. I don't know. Maybe he has some personal shit on there. He didn't want nobody to see it. I don't have no idea. And I don't really care, quite honestly. I'm not curious, not one bit about what he deleted. I could care less. Or let me say that backwards, actually. I couldn't care less, actually. I couldn't care less. Eric writes, meanwhile, the girl in pink getting stabbed while he giving commands that she clearly ain't concerned about. She saw the police there. Daryl writes, Looks like they rolled up in that gray car, but by the way it's parked. Michael writes, when you call them folks to your crib, make sure it's the right call. They come in with an attitude and trigger fingers itching. Tiff writes, the young ladies say they have a knife trying to stab us. The cop pulls up, sees someone with a knife. He thinks she is the aggressor because she is actively going after the woman with the knife. Thank you, Tiff. Right. I can totally see if the officer, if the officer releases a statement and that's a statement, I think I can see that. If I was the officer and I rolled up in that scenario, I wouldn't know who was who. All I know is that I see somebody with a knife about to stab somebody. That's all I know. I don't know about right and wrong. I don't know whose house it is. I don't know anything. That photo is what will get the cop vindicated. Yep. These people over here tripping. That right there is all you need to see. And that's a still shot of a video. The video is happening in real time. It happens real fast. Here's what I would say to you. It's not a good idea to be in that position and the boys roll up. It's just not a good idea. I wouldn't recommend that to anybody because you're going to force that officer to make a decision, and that decision could be to take your life. Be smart about it, family. Michael writes, white folks taking the council back. No, it's the Republicans taking the council back. The Republicans are taking the council back. Steve Gooden, Leas Keating, they were appointed after council persons stepped down or were suspended due to corruption allegations. Both of them, as I understand it, had a desire to run for city council. And so what they were giving is, a several months runway to basically, train on the job. That's a very powerful position to run from. The position of being an incumbent. You're actually already on city council. So you get a chance to vote on things. You get a chance to propose things. The public gets a chance to see you in a position before you're actually in a position. I can't think of a better position if you're running for city council. And that's what's probably going to happen. I can see Wendell stepping down. They might use that as leverage. You only got 7 months left. He might be like, man, let me just roll out of here so these people can leave me alone. I can see that happening. I could definitely see that happening. And the Republicans are going to appoint somebody else, probably somebody that's, wants to be on city council. That person will get 6 or 7 or 5 months to audition while on stage. And that's it. It is what it is. No crying about it. Fame writes, that's all, Victoria. The cop's going to get a medal from the Department of Union. Indict him and cave to public pressure. This will be the straw to break the camel's back. They need to pick battles more wisely. Terrence writes, if those other cops are smart and have decent representation, they might want to plead guilty now to lesser charges. Yeah, I thought the same thing. Yep. Scott writes, at this point, Young should just step down and appoint someone that's running. You know what, Scott? That might be smart. Step down, let the Democrats appoint somebody rather than allowing the Republicans to do it. Is that possible? If that's possible, that would be smart. I could see that because the writing's on the wall. Sarah writes, I don't understand why the leading vote getters who ran for council didn't get those seats. Sister Victoria writes, Mr. Wendell Young is an elected official and should not step down. If he does, Michelle Dillingham should be the replacement. Yeah, I mean, if he steps down, does that give the Democrats or whoever he initially chose to make a decision in this kind of scenario to appoint somebody that might be closer to his politics? I can see that. Although I don't want to see Wendell go. I think I would be sad to see that over a text message. It's a damn shame. If Don Corleone has the judges and politicians in his pockets, he must share. I don't understand that. Mo writes, CPD shot a guy at Bramble Park in Madisonville with a knife a few years ago. Don't think he died, but nothing said. No protest, and everyone agreed it was a good shot. They don't bring tasers to knife fights. That's true. That's exactly true. And the guy ended up living. But again, in the scenario in Columbus, you have someone that appeared to be a potential victim. So it just kind of changes things. Rolando writes, yes, they can get your personal phone if you're using it for city business. Okay, Rolando. Absolutely. Cran dog. Y'all funny. Dale writes, Nate, where's Cincinnati's Arya Stark? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know who the Arya Stark of Cincinnati would be. I love Game. Listen, if you like Game of Thrones, I like you instantly. I'm not against you if you don't, but I like Game of Thrones people. I found that I connect with those kind of people. We understand each other. Damn, that was a dope series. They effed it up those last season. Effed it all up. Scott writes, David Mann saying having text issues during those debates. Stay having text issues during those debates, does he? Yeah, he has some crazy tech issues, NAACP. Some people thought he was just making it up so he wouldn't answer questions. I don't think he would waste his time like that. I think he was really honestly having some technical difficulties. It's just amazing. Here it is in 2022 and people still don't understand and how to have a good connection, but it is what it is. Ashley writes, Queens Village and Cradle, Cincinnati, all love. Oh, I got nothing but respect for them doing what they doing. Nothing but respect. You can't say you love black people and not respect what they're doing. You cannot say it. If you don't know what they're doing, go to their website, find them on Facebook, and just take a look. You can't say you love black women and you don't love what Queens Village is doing. They're doing great work. Roy writes, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Roy. Sister V writes, I keep telling you Najoli is a ghost candidate only on the ballot to siphon votes. I have no reason to disagree with you because he certainly ain't serious about winning. Herman Najoli is not to be taken seriously. He should not be because he doesn't do any of the virtual debates. All you have to do is you can sit in your underwear at your house. I'm not in my underwear, just so you know, I never do that. But you can sit in your underwear at your home with your suit and tie on, making sure the top part is good and do a debate and take a serious shot at it. You know what I'm saying? And to do anything less than that, I think is crazy. Anthony writes, did they actually break into the house or did the family choose to come out? Cam still is not getting us information, talking about all the facts are not out and the investigation just started. I think the outcome would differ. I don't think so. I don't think so. Jericho writes, Nate, did you see my question? No. What question? What question? No. Chastity writes, and that girl in the pink was in fact an adult. I don't care if she was a senior citizen, Chastity. It makes no difference. She was a human that was about to get stabbed. Let me show you here. I don't care how old she was. She was about to get stabbed. Or it appears that she was. Now, maybe sis was just going to talk to her and try to intimidate her or something like that because people do that sometimes. But to me, that looks like she's about to stab her. So tell me this, Chastity. Why does the age of the girl in pink matter? Why does that matter in the moment? Because I don't think it does. I don't think it matters one bit. Let me see. Kamar writes, did you hear the cops scream Blue Lives Matter during the protest of Ma'Khia Bryant? I did. That was after the fact, Kamara. It was way after the fact, but I did see that video. Matter of fact, I played the video yesterday. We played it. And it just goes to show you the mentality of some officers. Christian writes, teasers are one and done. If he misses, tasers are one and done. If he misses, it's over. Anthony writes, tasers do not work all the time. Cam writes, the officer had only been on the force since 2019. I don't think that really matters. Why does that matter? Tell me why that matters, Cam. I mean, I'm not saying, I don't understand it. I don't understand. Thank you for the information because, as we are trying to make sense of this, it adds to the overall picture. But in terms of the decision made, I don't understand why that matters. We had an officer that was on the force for 26 years. She was a training officer. She was actually training a junior officer and mistakenly shot a black man and killed him. Telling him, oops, my bad. So I'm not sure how that really matters. Tabitha writes, thank you, Nathan, for this show. I learned a lot and I feel educated when I tune in. We need shows like those because the radio stations don't give us nothing. I appreciate it. Not to criticize anybody else. Everybody does great work. I'm glad that in the city of Cincinnati, you got multiple platforms where you can hear, Black people speaking from our perspective. That's better for everybody else. That's better for us. I just do what I do. And I appreciate that. Anthony writes, I'm not coming to a knife fight with a taser. Neither am I. Neither am I. Amina writes, it's a sad situation. If the cop didn't show up when he did, the headline could have been 16-year-old stabs woman to death, right? Right. Didi writes, the fact that he was able to land 4 shots where they were tells me he was excellent ability to aim. And I believe had this been another race of folks, it would have went differently. The other female should have been charged for murder. The other female should have been charged with her murder. I do not think the police officer should be charged, but I will not justify his actions as the best practice in this case, since we know from history that police use deadly force at their own discretion. Fame writes, the taser wouldn't have hit the target in time. Is a taser faster than a speeding bullet? No, only Superman is. He's hilarious. Hey, listen, before we roll out of here, guys, I want to remind you that you can early vote right now. Early voting is taking place up until May 4th. And among other things, you've got a race for mayor. This is not an endorsement. I'm not endorsing any candidates. This is a media platform, and we offer space for advertisement. Nothing more, nothing less. I'll be back on the other side.
Hello, I'm Mr. Same Old Same Old. I'm running for mayor.
Hold up. Haven't you run for a bunch of offices always promising change but doing nothing?
Yeah, but
nothing. I'm not voting for the same old politicians to clean up City Hall and create change. We need to vote Profit for mayor. He will be bold, courageous, fair, and stop corruption at City Hall. I'm voting for Profit. Profit for people.
I'm Raphael Profit, and I'm asking for your vote, as I will do what is right, what is just, and what is fair. Paid for by Profit for Mayor, Dwight Crawford, Treasurer.
Again, folks, not an endorsement for me personally. This is a media platform, and we offer space for advertisements, whether it be political campaigns. You could have a small business. You might even have an upcoming event, maybe in a virtual event. And we do reach people. We reach a lot of folks via our Facebook page and social media. So if you're interested in something like that, like a sponsorship or some ad placement, maybe a banner on this show or any of the shows on CDM, you can email me, nathan@sindigital.com, or you can just hit me with direct message and I will respond promptly. All right. I will respond promptly. Allow us to be a part of your social media strategy. All right. Let me see. Where are we here? Anthony writes, all of the adults should get something, just don't know what. Chastity writes, how did he get 4 shots to the chest if her back was to him? Why? Because she turned around. Anthony writes, come on, Nate. We all did it in school. Did what exactly? Chastity writes, what if we only seen the body cam footage of George Floyd? Would you all feel the same? No, you wouldn't. I agree with you. Doesn't matter who started what. The cop didn't have time to discern that, which I believe as well. Chastity writes, yes, and they asked him, why did you do that? You killed her. What are you doing? I'm sure they did. Livy writes, ongoing investigation. Then the cops yelling Blue Lives Matter was sick. It was, but that's separate. Whatever somebody said after that incident doesn't have an impact in the incident. That's a completely different thing. Susan writes, I also like to look at the responses by the other police in the scene. They were shocked. Jerica writes, please don't keep playing it if others haven't seen it. Let them find it on their own time. Cam writes, all the eyewitnesses there went on Facebook Live, tell a much different story that most subscribe to, siding with the police and the girl in the pink. Okay. Rachel writes, good morning, family. Chastity writes, but why was he the only one shooting? Okay. There were other cops there. Cam writes, nor did he ask the other officers already there. Akeem writes, if the lady in pink was there to beat up a stranger, she's just as bad as Jonathan Pentland. Let me see. Nat Rice, just throw the whole system away. Is that right? Listen, there is a petition there's a lot of stuff happening in the state of Ohio, and there's some good folks that want to make sure you know about these House bills. And I'm going to reach out to Cedric Denson again, State Red, and see if he'll come back on and talk about everything from his position. House Bill 22, House Bill 99. We must be aware of these initiatives that are happening. It seems like things are happening afterward, like we're getting information too late. There's a petition that's circling. It's in the Friends page. It's on my page as well. And these things can have a huge impact. Right now, there's a serious effort to arm teachers in Ohio. How do you feel about arming teachers? And I think that if not tomorrow, then early next week, I want to have a deeper conversation about the pros and cons of arming teachers. Because as I sit here right now, I think it's a terrible idea that's going to get somebody killed. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. Eric writes, a knife is a deadly force encounter. Christian writes, Christian does a great podcast, everybody. You can hear more and more about it with CDM. And very happy to be working with that brother in his podcast. It's called The Echo Chamber. You can find him on Facebook right now. He didn't got the car with his gun drawn. He pulled it later. Chastity writes, but Ohio has stand your ground law, right? I guess now you'll see how that law will get us killed. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I hear it with the stand your ground law, but again, in most cases, when I hear it being applied, police aren't in a situation. It's citizens dealing with citizens. Again, when police get to the situation, they are going to just bring their judgment and observation to the situation. That's what they're trained to do. I don't think it's reasonable for an officer to just let citizens duke it out and fight it out and stab each other because of stand your ground law. I don't think that's reasonable. I don't think that makes any sense whatsoever. I don't think that's what stand your ground means. Officer's right there. He's like, well, damn, stand your ground. I'm going to let them kill each other. I'm going to let them fight it out. And then we'll just pick up the bodies afterward. I don't think that's reasonable. I don't think that makes any sense whatsoever. But again, we can all have different opinions. I've got to make a move, family. I really appreciate you. Have an excellent rest of your day. Just remember, as I said, every officer involved shooting is not the same. All right. I'll be back with you bright and early tomorrow morning. We'll chop it up. Don't forget, Is It Just Me podcast tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Donnie will be talking with Raphael Prophet, and it should be really, really interesting. He is running for mayor, if you don't know, and you got a decision to make on May 4th. Okay, and I'm sure she's gonna have a strong opinion on all these cases. If you don't know, she is a lawyer, civil rights lawyer, and she goes deep. And from her experience and expertise about these cases, to try to educate people from her experience as to what we're seeing. So I'm looking forward to it. That's tomorrow at 12:30. And there's already an ad that's circulating and being pushed out there right now. So make sure you check that out. All right. Also on Monday, Tiffany Daniels, community connector. She's gonna be talking with a sister who, as I understand, is a powerhouse in terms of real estate coming out of Toledo. All right. So that's something you might be interested in. Again, Tiffany deals with wealth building strategies with her podcast. She streams live on Monday, April 26th at approximately 12 noon on Facebook. So make sure you check it out. Real estate might be something that you're interested in. All right. So listen, have an excellent rest of your day, family. I'll be back with you tomorrow morning. We'll talk about everything. I may do a bit of a weekend review if I don't have a guest or two. I've got some invitations out and haven't heard responses back yet. We'll see. But either way, I'll be with you bright and early at 7:30 a.m. And we'll be talking about everything: people, politics, pleasure, and delivering superlative flow. So have an excellent rest of your day, family. And until next time, I'm Nathan Ivey, and I'm out.